Longevity means a lot in Japan. Hello, my name is Greg Story. I'm the president of Dale Carnegie Training here in Japan and the best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery. And we're coming to you from our High Performance Center in Akasaka, in Minato-ku, the very business center of Tokyo. Well, I've been doing a series now on doing business in Japan, and today I want to talk about longevity. This is very important in Japan. The fact that you've been around for a long time is great for people who are very risk averse, because they know that there's a certain degree of track record there, that you've had stability, that you are predictable, that you are credible. All these sorts of things for them are important to reduce risk. So being able to continue business over a long period of time shows, well, you're very stable. We like that. However, if you're a new entrant to the market, how does that work for you? Because you don't have long track record in Japan, you don't have longevity. So how do you overcome that risk aversion? It may be that your company has a track record in your home country. I previously worked for an Australian bank. It was a very long established bank, 150 years. That was our track record. That was our longevity. The fact that we've been in Japan, a relatively short period of time by comparison, was counterbalanced by the fact we've been going for a long time in Australia. So look into the history of your own company. In your own country, maybe that doesn't count for much, but here it will count. So emphasize your longevity from your home base. In our case, we started 106 years ago in New York. We always mention that. 106 years ago, started in New York. So they go, 106 years. Very long time frame there. It shows we have stood the test of time as well. We've also been 55 years in Japan. So that's, for most foreign companies, fairly rare to be that long in Japan. We emphasize that as well. So you may not be 55 years in Japan, maybe much shorter than that, or maybe you're a completely new entrant. But you may have a very glorious long-term record in your own country. Bring that out, emphasize that. The other thing you can do is talk about your own personal longevity. If you've been with a company for a long period of time, that's also appreciated, because again, it shows stability. They like that. If you're, typically in a Western society, you're job hopping, to get up the ladder. Well, Japan doesn't job hop very much to get up the ladder. They go up the escalator. And so, our cultures are different. But if you've been with the company for a number of years, say in my case, I've now 10 years with Dale Carnegie, so that's considered to be, very, very good. That's a very long period of time. That shows some longevity, shows that I'm not jumping around, I'm sticking with the company. That's also appreciated. Now, the flip side of longevity is quite strange. Japanese love the new. They love things that are new. Now, this becomes a bit of a problem in business. Even if you're like us, you've got a long track record, 55 years in Japan, 106 years around the world. What are you doing that's new though? Because they love the new. They love something interesting. So when you're dealing with people in business, you might have an established partner, established relationship going there, all working harmoniously. But in big Japanese companies, every couple of years, they start to rotate. So April 1, you suddenly find that your contact is no longer in that part of the business. They've been moved somewhere else, and some new person has come in. They want to do something new. The fact that you've had a relationship for quite a long time with this particular person, a couple of years now, no, I want to do it my way, I want to do something fresh, or they've got their own preferred suppliers, they want to bring in something new to that company and you're out. This transition is a tricky one. So how to keep the longevity turnover of people. This is where you've got to be in touch with companies. You've got to know that, generally speaking, April is the switchover point. So if you're dealing with companies, you're dealing with people, and you haven't touched base for a while, definitely touch base before April 1 and find out what's happening with that person. Are they likely to stay in their position, or are they likely to be moved? The best thing you can do is have them introduce you to their replacement. That's generally known before April 1, or even if it's after April 1 and they're still in the country, get them to introduce you, because that handover, that what they call Japanese baton tachi, the handing on of the baton, is very, very good for you to solidify a good relationship with the new person. So you can't treat relationships as if, I don't need to be in touch with those people because business is rolling along, I'm all good. Yeah, that's true, but you've got to make sure that you are right there when things are making that change. And also, even as a well-established company, you've got to be coming up with something new all the time. If you just keep doing the same old product lineup, same old solution lineup, then they start to think, oh, you're a bit dated. That's a problem, for a 106-year-old company. You've got to be thought leadership, constant on the front foot, always pushing hard to come up with the new, because otherwise you can get left behind and seem a bit dated to people. So it's quite tricky, isn't it? We've got to be very long-lasting and long life in our business. We have to stay with the company long, but things have to be new. People change, and then suddenly you're out. That happens a lot. You're out, and suddenly someone new comes in. You've been with them 3 or 4 years, new person comes in, you're gone. So we've got to manage those relationships very carefully so we have the continuity. What we really want is to have a high degree of farming going on here, where we've got consistent business with the same companies all the time every year, and then we add new business with new clients to that, rather than having to switch it all the time, losing companies, having to replace them. We really want to keep the core group going and add to it. That means managing longevity very, very carefully. And if you do that, then you will be very successful.